like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Education of Homewood School District 153 for August 12th, 2024. Roll call, please.
Mr. Booth?
Here.
Mrs. Marks?
Here.
Mrs. Buffet? Mr. Schmidt?
Here.
Mr. Zimmerman? Mr. Bosch?
Here.
4 present.
Thank you. We have approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting of July 15th, 2024. Are there any additions or corrections to that set of minutes?
Before we move forward, I'd like to nominate Mr. Jim Schmidt as the secretary for this evening's meeting.
Happily accept, happily accept.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
No changes
Okay.
to the minutes for me.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have future dates? I bet we do.
We do. Big date, 1 week from today, first day of school for staff. So we're excited to welcome over 300 staff members to James Hart next Monday. And then, of course, our students come to school on Wednesday, August 21st. Also want to remind everyone of the back-to-school party that the Village of Homewood is putting on, sponsoring, on Saturday, August 24th. That'll be in the parking lot right by Village Hall. And of course, District 153, we will have a presence there, as will many local businesses. And last year they did that for the first time in this format, and it was a lot of fun and a big success. So we look forward to that Saturday the 24th, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then after we've been back in school, August 30th, we have a school improvement day on Friday afternoon, and Labor Day will be Monday. But looking forward to getting our kids back 9 days away.
I know their families are looking forward to them coming
Yes,
back too.
for sure.
Okay. Do we have any presentations tonight?
We do not.
Anyone in the audience come to address the board on any items that are not on tonight's agenda? Okay. Any responses to questions or concerns raised by the audience at previous meetings? Any board members have any reports?
Yes, F&P met a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of the items are on the agenda for later on. One of them is a presentation of the FY25 tentative budget, and then conversation or discussion about the meal reimbursement. And we also talked about some of the construction update, or we did talk about construction updates about items that took place over the summer. One of the most notable ones was the replacement of the roof at Churchill, which is close to being done or done.
Yeah, 90%.
Yep. So.
Great.
That's all.
Thank you. Any other board members have any reports? All righty, then we have the superintendent's report.
Well, today is always a highly anticipated day in the Village of Homewood, as teacher assignments were made public about 4 hours ago. So if you are at home watching live or can spread the word, yes, we have now made available teacher assignments. So everyone's always excited to see that. I mentioned this school will be starting again a week from Wednesday. I also want to point out we moved to online registration a handful of years ago, but we still have several families that we have rolled over from last year into this current school year who have not started the registration process. So it's really important, if you haven't completed the registration process, and for kindergarten and 6th grade especially, that requires residency verification, as well as new families, of course. But you cannot attend school if that process has not been completed. And so we still have a few dozen families that haven't started the process. So we certainly hope, if they are intending to return, that they get that done. At this point, we are past the point where we can promise your child will start on time, because our office personnel, when they receive all these applications, especially last minute, now they have to process through all of them. So because we're so close to the start of school, it's going to be difficult to get people started on time. We'll do our best, but that will be a challenge. And also wanted to point out, today we had new teacher orientation. So we have our administrators here, we had the whole team, and 23 staff members were in the cafeteria this morning for a full day of training, and they'll be here Tuesday and Wednesday also. But great energy in the room. It's always so fun to welcome new people into our district. And I know today, Beth, was largely a technology day for them, right? Yeah, learning all about the systems that we have here and the people. So excited to do that. And then Mr. Bosch had mentioned we are excited about the brand new roof at Churchill School. You know, it's one of those things, it doesn't bring a lot of glamour, and it's not shiny to the eye necessarily, but when you walk in a building, nothing ruins the atmosphere more than a roof that leaks during rain or snow. And so to have a brand-new roof at Churchill, it is largely in place. I said 90% finished. They're still putting some metal flashing up there, but we'll certainly be ready for the start of school on Monday, and we're excited about that. And then also, as we talk about budgeting, Dr. Trimberger is here when we talk about the tentative budget shortly, but we do plan on replacing the roof at Willow School next school year. So those are two very big projects, and also ones that I point out that the referendum that was recently approved has enabled us to do quicker than we otherwise would have, and that's a huge improvement for the district. So we're excited about that.
Great, thank you. Before we move on, I want to congratulate you on
What did I do?
becoming Rotarian of the Year by the Rotary Club of Homewood
Thank you.
because of your very active involvement
Thank you.
in the Rotary. So thank you for taking that on your own behalf, but also on behalf of the district.
Absolutely. Happy to do it. It's good, enjoyable work.
Great, thanks. Okay. We have several consent agenda items tonight. The first is to authorize the chief school business official to pay the usual and customary bills for September 2024. The second is the personnel report.
Yeah, as you might imagine, this time of year, especially in a school, it is pedal to the metal in terms of filling all of our vacancies. So you can see several names here. There's reassignments, some people who have left us for other positions, a few FMLAs, long-term subs, et cetera. But you can read all those names and details in your report.
Great, thank you. Any questions on the personnel report? All righty. We need to set the date and time for the public hearing for FY25 budget. And that is basically, our meeting will still begin at 7 o'clock, and the regular meeting will follow immediately after. We have to adopt new and revised policies.
Yes, so it is time to adopt. Last month, I introduced press policy, and that's the policy subscription service through IASB, the School Board Association. They are offering policy revisions, and last month was the first reading of those, so tonight we're asking that you formally adopt those into our policy manual.
Any questions on the policies?
No.
All righty. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented in items 7A, B, 7C, 7D, and 7E.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mrs. Marks?
Yes. Motion carries. We have some action agenda items tonight. The first is the second payment of July 2024 bills and the first payment of August 2024 bills. Any questions on the bills?
No.
Is there a motion to approve?
Moved upon the recommendation of the chief school business official that the Board of Education authorize the second payment of July 2024 bills and the first payment of August 2024 bills in an amount not to exceed $1,415,749.03.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
Mrs. Marks?
Yes. Motion carries. We have approval of life safety amendment for the roof at Willow School.
Dr. Turnberger, if you would like to talk about this for the board, please.
So we have talked with the board about, we estimate the cost of the Willow roof to be about $2.3 million. We're asking the board to approve a life safety amendment for this project because it may give us some opportunities to look at some different ways of financing the project without having to use fund balance, where you might be able to sell some life safety bonds that can be paid off over a couple of years, as opposed to having to pay it all off in 1 year out of cash reserves. So we're not quite sure how we're going to go about it yet, but this gives the board some flexibility. So the project is about $2.3 million. ISB with a life safety amendment requires that the project include 10% architect fees and 10% contingency. We will not be using an architect for this fee, but regardless, we have to ask for that amount in the amendment. So we're asking the board to approve an amendment tonight in the amount of $2,773,000.
Any questions? All right, thank you for finding us a potential new way to spread out the payment.
It was kind of a last-second thing from the General Assembly nobody knew about, and we woke up one day and there was legislation passed about the ability to issue life safety bonds, which is a big deal for tax cap counties.
Great, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the life safety amendment for the roof at Willow School?
Moved upon the recommendation of the chief school business official that the Board of Education approve the life safety amendment at Willow School in the amount of $2,773,000.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
Mrs. Marks?
Yes. Motion carries. We have the approval of meal reimbursement increase.
Yes, so our meal reimbursement has been a flat $40 per day since 2017. With inflation, this is no longer sufficient. And what the administration is recommending, that we look at the IRS meal reimbursement rate for the city of Homewood, which is $18 for breakfast, $20 for lunch, and $36 for dinner. So the administration is recommending we move from a flat $40 per day to a per meal allowance, because if staff is traveling a lot of times, a hotel may provide breakfast, and sometimes a lunch or dinner may be included with the seminar. So if meals are provided in that fashion, they would not be reimbursable. And if they aren't, that we're recommending these new rates for the 24-25 school year.
Great. Any questions?
I think just one comment, and Dr. Turnberg there mentioned that these rates are these are determined by the IRS, so it's not an arbitrary amount. So I would imagine it's going to change every year, or whenever the IRS changes it going forward in the future. Is that correct?
I believe they're changed periodically, and we would always look at these types of things on a school year basis, so we could come back on a year-to-year basis and review this as needed with F&P.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved upon the recommendation of the chief school business official that the Board of Education approve an increase from the per diem meal reimbursement of $40 to the IRS recommended amount of $18 for breakfast, $20 for lunch, and $36 for dinner.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mrs. Marks?
Yes. Motion carries. We have approval of memo of understanding regarding the head custodian at James Hart.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Tremberger for his work there. I'll point out on the roof, if you go back to that for a brief moment, he mentioned that we have to allocate funds for an architect fee, but we do not intend to use an architect for the Willow roof next summer. We did not utilize an architect for the roof work this year at Churchill, which saved the district about $250,000. And the roof got done perfectly fine, right? So that was something that Dr. Tremberger brought to us, working closely with the roofing contractor, and we'll do so again next year. So thank you for that. As far as the MOU, we have a need to replace our head custodian at James Hart. And one of the things that we have discovered, again in my conversations with Dr. Tremberger, is frequently you will see hourly rates of compensation for head custodian that is appreciably different than the hourly rate for regular non-head custodians. And right now, the difference between our two levels of compensation is very negligible, perhaps $1 per hour. And so for the supervisory responsibilities of a head custodian, as well as the workload on this campus specifically, just because of all the events that we have, particularly in the evening, we feel that increasing that to provide a better compensation for the head custodian is appropriate. We would typically approach this during negotiations, which will be starting this fall, but we did not want to wait until the next contract in the fall of '25 to provide the compensation for work somebody will be doing this year. So I did speak to Mr. Jaminski, our HEA president. We both agreed that this is appropriate to do so. So the MOU provides for an increased stipend from the current level of $2,500 to $10,000, and that is more germane to the work that's being done. And then the MOU also talks about this will be a topic of negotiations, right? So we can have a broader conversation, but this at least immediately addresses the work that somebody will be doing for this year.
Great, thank you. Any questions on the MOU?
Hmm.
Is there a motion to approve?
Moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the board approve the memo of understanding formalizing the increased stipend for the head custodian at James Hart School.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mrs. Marks?
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. We have employment.
Yes, our administrators, the most important work we do is hiring, right? It is finding the highest quality people we can find to work in our schools with our kids. And so kudos to that team for the work they've done in bringing in high-quality people, many of whose names are here, most of whom we have been previously approved in board meetings before tonight. But we'd like to welcome to Homewood School District 153, Lana Knight, fourth grade teacher at Churchill, Elena Larson, fourth grade teacher at Churchill, Barbara Burns, psychologist at Churchill, Rita Usher, an assistant at James Hart, Dr. Townsend, Michael Townsend, an assistant at James Hart, Maribeth Meyer, an assistant at James Hart, Megan Whalen, an assistant at Willow, Selena Moore, an assistant at Churchill, and Jake Wade, an assistant at Churchill.
Any questions? Is there a motion to approve?
Moved upon the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education approve the employment of Lana Knight, Elena Larson, Barbara Burns, Rita Usher, Michael Townsend, Mary Beth Meyer, Megan Whalen, Selena Moore, and Jake Wade, effective August 19th, 2024, upon the terms recommended by the superintendent, conditioned only upon receipt of a satisfactory criminal background report and upon receipt no later than August 21st of evidence of proper legal qualifications for the positions to be filled.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
Mrs. Marks?
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Do we have any discussion items tonight?
Do not.
Do we have any written communication to the board?
We do. We have a thank you note dated July 2024. Thank you so very much for continuing to host such lovely retirement parties. It was a very nice send-off. So appreciative of the lovely Waterford frame and all the well wishes. I will remember my time in 153 very fondly. With appreciation, Jeanette Nichols.
Very nice. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.